It is again the same M factor which has been the pain for India throughout the series. Mooney with a good 60 run and McGrath with 44. And that's how Australia have reached 149 for 5 in their 20 overs, 150 runs to win for India. Ananya and Gomesh have joined me on the mid-match show, a shorter segment. Ananya, over to you. How did India fare, and is that total good enough for Australia?
Well, how did India fare? I think, well, they started off pretty well. I think the spinners continued to bowl well today, carrying on from where they left off yesterday. Rajeshwari Gaikwad and Deepti Sharma were both very, very impressive. And I think the two quicks, again, at the start were also impressive. Shikhar Pandey unlucky not to get Healy for the second time on the trot, but Renuka Singh was extremely impressive through today, especially when she came back in the middle overs. So whether this total will be enough, look, it doesn't look like, again, the surface that we saw in the first game. It doesn't look like a true track where the ball is really flying off the middle of the bat. I think all the batters have seemed to have taken a little bit of time to find their timing. So I think it's going to be a competitive second innings. India will have to bat really well to chase this down.
Umesh, let's start with Australia's batting. It's again the same case that the big superstars, as we call Healy, Lannon, Perry, Gardner, no one has scored well for them the entire series, especially uh, the limited overs format. But still, they have managed to do well. Mooney and McGrath again there for them today.
I mean, as you say, superstars, I think it's just about how we look at it. Since January 2020, nobody has scored more half centuries in T20As than Beth Mooney for Australia. So it's just that the way Alisa Healy plays takes the limelight of Mooney a lot. And she has been if Rachel Lyons is the pillar of that Australian middle order, I think Mooney plays that role at the top and she has been consistent as ever. We saw in the second ODI, we saw in the second T20, and once again it was her. More than Mooney, I think McGrath had a big role to play. If not, if McGrath had got out at that point of time when she came in, if India had chipped away with 1 wicket or more, then it would have been even more difficult for Mooney. If you look at the last 2-3 overs, India were almost trying everything. Jemima was throwing herself on the outfield, and still McGrath was just manipulating the field, moving across and sweeping behind square leg, going back and cutting behind gully. She's just in that zone where she could do no wrong, and I think that just reflects in the way that Australia have played so far.
1 point to Ananya clearly for predicting that McGrath will do well. She did well today again. But Ananya, we generally criticize a lot of the top players. Say, for example, India's top players when they don't perform well or when the strike rate is not great. Australia's the same situation. That the players generally who are supposed to be in form, they're not in form right now. What do you think is going wrong for them?
Look, I think when batters aren't usually doing well, we tend to focus more on what they're doing wrong. I think this Australian lineup has come up against a bowling attack that's really found its own. I think India through the series have found different bowlers to step up in different games, and they all look in really good rhythm. So I think at some point you have to give credit to a bowling unit when they're doing well. And I think that's been the case with India, that they've just that this Australian unit have just come up against an Indian bowling attack that have really found their own. And I mean, when you look at the attitudes of these Australians, I mean, I'm sure they will be hurting. They are, they set very high standards for themselves. Meg Lanning, of course, will not enjoy sitting on the sidelines watching others get runs, because that's something she generally does. But these are blips in everyone's career that they will face, and I'm sure that when the runs start coming, these are players who know how to make the most of it. So I think it's just a dip in form. They are coming back after a long time. It's not like they have looked, aside from Healy, I think Lanning actually looked in control today. a little unlucky to get out the way she did. But I don't think that the Australian lineup will be too worried, simply because they found different people to eventually kind of get them over that's the line. And I think in India, why we focus so much on the likes of Mandana or Kaur not getting runs is because we haven't been able to find those support casts, but Australia have those players, so they won't be too worried.
Just one question again. Surprised to see Wareham about Carrie Sutherland.
No, not really. I think she did get a few quick runs in the previous game, so they probably looked at her hitting form. She did score a bulk of runs in the previous WBBL before she got injured, so she is pushing herself into that all-rounder category, and they probably thought she was best suited to come out at that point.
Talking about another all-rounder, Pooja Vastrikar, again, a good set of bowling from her, 4 overs, 1 for 24. Umesh, your thoughts on Pooja's bowling and the way she's developing herself as India's prime all-rounder?
It's probably one of the biggest positives for India from this year. Of course, Sneha Rana's rediscovery also to say, because she has always been there in the domestic circuit. Just that we are seeing her first time in international cricket, but the way Pooja Vastrikar has grown leaps and bounds as a bowler in the last 6 months has been incredible. Especially that wicket of Gardner, if you see, it kind of seemed away a little bit to take the edge, and even in the last over. She bowled 4 overs, just 12 dot balls in a T20I. Half of her quota of overs is just dot balls. It seems like she knows what she's doing, and she's back it up with the kind of fields that she wants to bowl to. Give her, if the team management is going to give her the freedom and make her let her develop the way she wants to, I think she's going to be a great asset for India in the years to come.
Let's speak a bit more on Renuka Thakur's thing. Team pacer, 4 overs, 1 for 23. She bowled exceptionally well. Doesn't look like she's bowling only for the second time in an international game.
She did look extremely confident, and she looked confident yesterday as well. I think that was one of the standouts for me. The fact that she had the confidence to come back in the middle overs and in the death overs and try those variations that she's been developing. She's always had a very good leg cutter. We read about how she's trying to work on her death bowling, her Yorkers as well. So the fact that she's had the confidence to come out in international cricket and try those out is very, very impressive. I think again, for me, it's about the timing of the selections of people like Meghna, Renuka. These are women who have been in the domestic circuit for a while. They've played 30, 40 games for their respective states. They understand their games, they understand their strengths, their weaknesses, how they are going to get wickets, and it just reflects when they come into the international arena. I know it's a huge step up, but the more confidence you have in your own game, the more it will reflect when you're out, regardless of the the stage that you're on. If you're confident in your own ability, it reflects, and that's exactly what's shown with both Renuka and Meghna.
Okay, let's talk about what's going to be India's chase strategy. What are they going to do? 150 needed. Umesh, Mandana and Verma again going to go berserk, or is one of them going to be that anchor role and the other is going to continue doing what they know?
Ideally, it should be the case because unlike the second T20 where they batted first, they have seen how the pitches behave, given the way Australia has batted, and they would be letting go of Verma to play her own natural game, pick a quick 20-30 runs in the power play, while Mandana playing that anchor role, holding one end up and playing a big innings. How Mandana plays today is very, very crucial for India, is what I think, because given the way the pitch is behaving, India really needs someone to get a big score. Otherwise, it is going to be very hard for the middle order to pull through after what happened in the second T20.
Ananya, your thoughts?
I completely agree with what Gomesh has said. I mean, with Shefali Verma, you kind of expect her to just go free and play the way she's always played. You wouldn't want to put any restrictions on her. This is a chase. So this is a situation in which Smriti Mandana revels. So I think she will enjoy it. It's probably not it probably won't be her most favorite surface, but the opposition bowlers do have pace, so it is something that she will enjoy. So I'm keen to see again. I'm sure Volemic will get some shape early. So how she tackles those things, how she tackles Ashley Gardner. I think those battles will be interesting. But like Gomesh said, I think Shafali will be the one to go out, get India off to a flyer, and Mandana probably will have to be the central figure if India are to get home.
Let's directly talk about the prediction and who do you feel is going to be the player to look out for. Ananya, you got it right in the first innings. What's your thing for the second one?
With India, I feel like the safe bet is now Pooja Vastrakar. She's kind of coming into her own a little bit, and I think the way she batted in the previous game, she showed a lot of maturity, and I think more than maturity, I think she showed a lot of bravery by saying, you know what, I'm going to take this on myself. You bat out 3 balls, I don't care, but the last 6 balls are going to be mine, and that takes a lot of confidence in one's own ability. So as much as a lot rides on Mandana and Verma, I'm going to say if India have to get over the line, if they need maybe 30, 40 runs in those last 5 overs, I'd back Pooja Vastrakar to get them over the line. But I think Australia may have the edge, so I think they're going to win this game.
And who's your player? Who's the bowler you feel Australia is going to rely on? Is going to be a team effort again?
Team effort, I'm going to say fielding. I think fielding is going to be the difference between these sides. As much as the bowling, I think the spinners will play a big role, but I think it's the fielding that's going to make the difference.
Gomesh, your thoughts?
I've got it horribly wrong and really got out without scoring any runs, but I'm still gonna stick my neck out and say Shefali Verma because she's got her starts throughout the series, but a big innings and half centuries due. I think this is probably this is a format that she seems to enjoy a lot, and she has no burden upon to just play. There may be 20 ball 40 or 45 is coming is what I feel for India, but again. I think after Shefali, it depends on how the middle order is going to bat. So, going to be a tricky chase, but I would say 60-40 in favor of Australia.
60-40 in favor of Australia. Both the experts are predicting Australia is going to win another game. They're going to finish on 11-5 in this multi-format series. We'll head up. We will meet you back at the post-match show. Till then, see you.